Morning, everyone, and welcome to today's demonstration. I'm going to be helping out today with my co-host Steve. Steve's going to be taking you on a tour of the ClubExpress system and show you how it can help you streamline what you're doing with your club and association. I'll be helping him out. I'm Samantha. I'm the Director of Education. I'll be here to answer questions that you have while Steve's going through his demonstration. Now, before we get started, we'll go through just a smidge of housekeeping. Your phones and microphones are muted. So if you have questions, like I said, feel free to enter them in the chat. I'll make sure that those get answered either during the presentation or, of course, we'll have time for some live Q&A at the end of our session today. And if you aren't able to stay for the entire session, or if you'd like to share a copy of this demonstration with other team members or board members while you're making your decision process or exploring other features, you'll have a copy of this recording available to you. It'll be hosted on our YouTube channel. And while you're there taking a look or another look at today's demonstration, feel free to browse around at the rest of our YouTube library. It includes tutorials and webinars that take much deeper dives into the features that you're going to be looking at today. So if something piques your interest, go ahead and search for that topic in our YouTube channel. You'll find a bunch of other videos and tutorials that'll help you get a better idea of what that feature can do for you and your club. And of course, if you're interested in seeing any of our webinars live, you can visit our calendar at clubexpress.com/calendar, or just by clicking the calendar option on our main menu. You can see all of the upcoming webinars that we have. They are all free. And again, it'll give you a sense of some of the features that we have. We do deeper dives on a monthly basis, and we also have live Q&A included with those as well. So lots of opportunities for you to learn more about ClubExpress. And of course, you can always connect with Steve and he'll give you his contact information. And without further ado, Steve, why don't you take us away?
Thank you for that, Sam. Hi, everyone. My name's Steve. I'm the Senior Sales Executive with ClubExpress. Thank you for coming up here to to explore who ClubExpress is and get a better sense of how we could be of service to your organization. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we put together a quick little PowerPoint for you in order to get us started today. So let's go ahead and get started with everything. ClubExpress's first release was we were founded in 2003 with our first release in 2004. We are currently on version number 68. We have a new release every 3 to 4 months. And what that means is more features, more functions, just automatically rolling out to you. No maintenance to be done on your end. We're PC Magazine's Editor's Choice Award. We have service to thousands of organizations, and over 600,000 members are being supported by ClubExpress. There's basically 3 components to a ClubExpress site. There's the public area, where you very simply get to tell your story. This is who we are. This is what we're all about. This is how fun and beautiful we are. This is why you should be part of an organization. And then there's a private secured area. You need to have a username and password to enter those areas. And those credentials will identify you to the system. So to get started, you will always have access to your own account, your profile. So you can your contact information, register for events, renew your membership, take a look at historically everything you've ever done as far as payments and events and volunteering with your organizations. It really puts you in a very powerful position to be better engaged. If you're involved with any kind of committees or interest groups, we have modules that'll help run those subgroups as well. So you could have dedicated folders and forums for those respective groups. And as a member of those groups, you'll have access to that. It's your username and password that's going to drive what you will have access to. Your username and password could also identify you as an administrator. These are the people that run the site. They'll get to see and do everything. They'll have access to the 26 modules that come with ClubExpress. You'll be able to post events on the calendar, upload documents, and create folders, create photo albums for the photos that have been uploaded, better manage your events, better communications, emails, blogs, and forums, already built into ClubExpress. So it's a very powerful, engaging position that you'll be in to create a stronger, more fluid online presence. Some of the modules that come with ClubExpress already pre-cooked, as I like to say, to better manage your events, documents, photo albums, forums, volunteering, and surveys. Business and member directories are also built into us, as well as being able to improvise and create your own forms. Security is something very big with ClubExpress. Your data is always properly encrypted, and no one will ever have access to it, except if for those that are permissioned to do so. So with that being said, let me go ahead and find our demo site. And I hope everyone's able to see the Chicago Association Financial Planners. Let me tell you something about this organization. They don't really exist. We made them up. This is one of our sandboxes that you get to come up here and explore and get a better idea of how do you do this and how do you do that within ClubExpress. Got a couple of ground rules to keep in mind as we move along. First of all, the look and feel of ClubExpress sites are incredibly flexible. Please don't get locked into. That's what I saw on the demo site as to the only way the aesthetics can be delivered. The color, the theme, where the menu is, the amount of items in there, what they're labeled, and the pictures that we have up here, completely open to whatever you'd like them to be. To pull back here for a moment, something that Sam mentioned earlier, if there's any questions, any comments along the way, go ahead and fire them off in the chat area, and we'll take care of them as needed. So with all that being said, let's find out a little bit more about this organization. Here's our banner going across the top. Here is our logo, our menu. We'll get back to that in a second. I've mentioned this a couple of times. ClubExpress is already pre-cooked with about 26 different modules that help you with all kinds of administrative tasks. The other thing it comes with are widgets. Widgets are items that do a singular task. You want better social media integration? We have a widget for that. You want to be able to pull in videos off of YouTube? We have a widget for that as well. One of our latest one is a countdown widget. So if any key items are happening events are happening within your organization, you'll be able to set up a counter letting people know how long it's there. Kind of creates a lot of excitement and urgency to move things along. Scroll down here a little on our homepage here. Here's our mission statement, but I want to highlight this part of it. You're able to drop links anywhere throughout ClubExpress sites. Now, some of the links could take you off of ClubExpress to different websites. Others could take you to other parts of ClubExpress. What we're looking to do here is to be able to drive people online in order for them to apply to become members. Now, the application process could be as simple or as sophisticated as you need it to be. Do you need just to have some basic contact information and make payment online to become a member? Done. Easily supported. Do you want to take it a step further and say, we need some custom information? There's a vetting process. You need to go through a couple of stages or interviews before somebody puts their seal of approval for you being a member. It may include who is your sponsor or who's vouching for your membership. We support all types of processes, but the point is you're able to try the process online, and the first step will be come to the website and go through Join Today. Scrolling down a little bit further, we can build out these custom panels here to talk about our members or the benefits. I mentioned widgets a moment ago. Here's one of the more popular ones, upcoming events. This widget will speak to the calendar module, and you'll tell the widget, look out so many days, look out 20 days, look out 30 days. Anything that's been posted within the calendar self-populates in here, and it keeps moving forward. A stronger online presence, better engagement, letting everybody know this is what we're up to in the next 30 or 40 days. And you'll notice as I hover over these are live links. So you could actually get into the event details and actually start finding out a little bit more about it. Obviously, being able to register and make payments, that's already built into the system. And we'll take a look at that coming up soon. I'm going to get back to the menu right now. So we've been exploring some of the items on the homepage. And as I mentioned earlier, you could drive people online in order for them to apply to become a member. I've mentioned that widgets and modules come with ClubExpress. The other thing that is already pre-built are custom content or static pages. And you can have as many of these pages as you like. You want to talk about the history of your organization. You want to talk about upcoming events. Do you want to talk about the bio of the board? These are examples of how these static pages can be used. So sometimes they look like a Word document, and it's just as simple to build this out as it is a Word document. But here it is, just typing away, putting information, very static. Could be very simple. Here's some content, some pictures, some links, and that's it. Sometimes we're going to take it a step further and put something a little bit more sophisticated on one of our static pages. Parallax scrolling, for example. You'll notice as I start scrolling down, different colors, different pictures in the background. Once more, that idea, I could drop links anywhere throughout the site. So a very modern online presence. Here's our calendar. Well, we're still in the dead of summer, I guess. Not a lot of stuff going on. But what makes Club Express calendars interesting is that when you post the event, you determine where's it going to be viewed. So while there's only one calendar, you get to put a filter on there saying who gets to see it. Is this going to be public facing? Is it going to be members only? We have our conference here that's happening next week. Let's find out a little bit more about it. We could put our title in here. We could drop pictures and videos, pull them in from YouTube as an option. Here's a description of it. When is it? Where is it? Who the key contacts are. And at their discretion, they can include their email address or their phone numbers. We support hybrid events. So if you're using some kind of online tool, we're using Zoom now, or Teams, for example, you could drop down the links and the credentials to be able to log into those specific online sessions. Registration is required, payment in advance only. And sometimes it could be just as simple as this. We also have the option to be able to take it a step further. We have breakout sessions. Now, some of the conferences I've gone to as a registrant, not as a vendor, typical Saturday morning, hotel ballroom. Here is the breakfast buffet. You meet up with some old friends, maybe some networking, one or two key speakers in the morning, and then you'll have lunch. But in the afternoon, I have breakout sessions. So from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm in this one room talking about A, B, and C. And then from 2:30 to 3:30, I'm in another room talking about X, Y, and Z. We're able to control those types of breakout sessions. But once we start finding out a little bit more about how your events are managed, you'll be amazed at the flexibility and how well it could be incorporated into what you do. We could have unique details regarding these breakout sessions as well. When is it? Where is it? Any kind of additional fees to go along with it? Capacity. How many seats are still available? We could drop a ticker in here, letting people know only 2 seats available, only 3 seats available, creating that urgency to move things along and register for it and take care of themselves. And that's going to be one of the mantras you're going to keep hearing me say, members being able to manage themselves. And that's the point of being able to have these breakout sessions, put all the information on there. Members are able to take a step further and take care of things themselves. Finally, at the end here, we have contact us. So keeping in mind, we've been looking at the public area, but you still need to have somebody to wave out to the world and say, do you have any questions, any comments? Get in touch with us. At your discretion, you can include your mailing address, phone number, who the key contacts are for the organization. And notice as I'm hovering over email addresses, they're not live links. And that's been done intentionally in order to avoid spam. But we do have some built-in help here where you can fire off emails to some highlighted people. Obviously, this drop-down list customized to your organization. Looking on the upper right-hand side, I have member login, and this is where you'll be able to log into the private area of ClubExpress. Drop in my username and password. I have a box here that I could check off. Remember me on this computer. That way I never have to log in. Go ahead and log in. And now I'm in the private secured area of ClubExpress. You'll notice menu's a little bit different. I got privileged members only information. For my username and password, I was identified as Martin Smith, who just logged in. That's why my name appears on the upper right-hand side. So hovering over this, I get a drop-down menu appear. In the top portion, my name, my email address, my phone number. This is where I log out of the system. This is where I could take a look at my directory listing. And this is where I could take a look at my profile or my account. Now, one of the mantras of ClubExpress is members being able to manage themselves. This is where they're able to do all that magic. Up top, I have a quick little snapshot of some information. Type of membership I have, my status, when does it expire, my member number, when I first joined, when did I last renew. This is where I can manage my basic information, name, address, phone number, email, cell phone, company, all managed by the member. That way they could stay updated as needed. Additional member data. This is where we start expanding the database into customized information unique to your organization. You could have as many fields as you want, 22 different types of answers to go along with it. And there are reports behind the scenes where you're able to extract that information, put into something like Excel, and then start doing your own data mining, your own slicing and dicing of that information. Standard member directory. This is where I start managing what information I'm making available to the other members of the organization. For example, do I want to show all my information or don't even list me within the directory? And then I have options for bits and pieces of that in between the two of them. I could upload a photo, banner image, whatever kind of social media platforms I'm on, we support them all. You could drop down the link to go to those respective platforms. And here's my bio where I could talk a little bit more about who I am, what I'm all about. And I can include links and pictures and images in here. Once I put all these pieces together, whenever you look up Marty within the directory, this is what you'll get. Very modern online presence, very social media friendly. Here are quick links to get to that specific information. My contact information as well. The social media platforms that I'm on, my more personal information posted here. Any kind of interests I may have. We've activated the feature where you can upload pictures into your own photo album and then share those photo albums with others. This is not the organization's photo album. That's a separate module. So again, very rich with a lot of information about Marty, so you can find out a little bit more about who he is, what he's all about. This is where I can manage my username and passwords. I could upload personalized information, special documents I need for my profile within here. If we're looking at continuing education, this is one of the other modules that ClubExpress provides, not part of the core that's already built in there, but this is where you would be able to review what I've received certifications on, how many points I've received, anything that's out there that's pending that I need to manage. From day one, everything is tracked from running ClubExpress. Any kind of payments that you've made are taken care of in here. So whenever I need to have any kind of documentation or to turn something in for reimbursement, I could go back in time and be able to produce that receipt and turn it into HR for expense reimbursement. I could take a look at all the events that I've attended, any kind of volunteering that I've done. Forms. This is one of the core modules that come with ClubExpress. Great way of being able to have more fluid online communication. So you could have as many forms as you want. Some of the forms could be what we call open. If you're a member of the group, you get to read and write to it. Others we could start drizzling some security on. You need to belong to this one committee or this one interest group in order to be able to participate reading and writing in there. Everybody else is only able to read what's happening within those forms. Or we could take it a step further and lock it down. You don't even know that that form exists unless you've got the right username and password. So your board of directors, who needs to have that private fluid line of communication that no one has access to, we could deliver that. As I mentioned, it's your username and password that determine which forms you're able to participate in. The same concept of security that we have with the forms module, we have with the documents module. No limit to how many files you upload, no limit to how many folders you have. Some of the folders can be in the public area, others for members or committees, others for your board of directors. Again, username and password are driving which ones you have access to. And I hope I'm giving you the impression there's a lot of functionality here that members are able to wrap their arms around and be more engaged and be able to manage themselves. Taking a look at our menu, like I said, some of these items we didn't review in the when we first started, but home and events are on here. If I hover over members, I get this drop-down menu available. It's available throughout the whole platform. So some of the other modules that come with ClubExpress, we have a membership directory. I've mentioned committees a couple of times, as well as volunteering for professional organizations. We have a jobs board module. There are additional fees for that. That's not one of the ones that are included within ClubExpress. Blogs, maybe you have some senior leadership or some people who really love speaking. Great way of being able to get their word out for that monthly message. The one module I always like taking a deeper dive into is documents, for the simple reason that everybody uses the documents module. We have a pretty traditional setup here on the left-hand side with all folders already being posted. As you'll notice, as I hover over them, they become highlighted. And then when I click on it, it self-populates with all the files that are in there. And I could also host subfolders as well. And then simply just come over here, click on it, and here's a brief description of the file, and then I could download it so I could print it, save it, read it, whatever we need to do. As I've mentioned, no limitations to how many files you upload, no limitations to website space. We support all formats. This is where I would be able to do some searching within here, as well as the text, any kind of tags or keywords that I've linked to the file, the formats that it's in, and the folder that it should be in I could search off of all of that. Over here on the right-hand side, we have this folder this bar that's been following us around. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but when I hover over it, it opens up my online assistant. So if I ever need to print the page that I'm on or adjust the size of the text or scroll to the top, maybe the pages have gotten a little bit too long and just need to get the top portion quickly. Then we've got the edit button. So I'm going to take a step back and talk a little bit more about edit. You've heard me say already a couple of times that your username and password drive who you are in the private area of ClubExpress. But the role you could have is one of three people. You could be a member. This is going to be the most popular one. Members have access to their own account and whatever's been made available throughout the area for all members. The flip side of that are administrators. These are the people that get to see everything. Let's just make it simple. They get to see and do it all. Activate modules, blast out emails, put events on the calendar, run reports. These are some of the things that admins have access to. In between the two of them is somebody that we call a coordinator. Coordinators are members who have been given assigned administrative access. You only get to do A, B, and C. You only get to do 1, 2, and 3. So it's very granular, the control you're able to give them. Coordinators have 7 layers of security to go along with them. So it's not full access as an administrator. It's very finite, very controlled what you're providing somebody to have administrative access to. One of the more common ones are people running events. They could be drilled down into you have control over this one event to put them in a position to better manage it. My point's this: whenever you see the edit button appear, you have access to the administrative area. So right now, we're looking at the documents module from the member's perspective. If I click on edit, I just flipped you over. We're in the administrative side now of running this module. It's the shortcut to get into it. Again, that idea, I could hover over any of these folders and they become highlighted. Once they're highlighted, I could click on it. I could edit the properties of the folder, the name of the folder, the description. Where does it exist? Visibility, we're talking about security. Who gets to see the stuff within the folder? And what kind of member uploads are we allowing here? So this panel exists throughout all of ClubExpress. So you're going to keep seeing it again and again and again, helping you navigate through the setup and managing of all the modules. Or I could come back here and say, you know what? I need to view the documents because I got some documents that I need to upload. Well, I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Document. New window opens up. What folder does it go into? What's the title, the description, tags, the keywords I can link to this file so I could quickly and easily search for it. Who the authors are, any kind of dates I need to be aware of. Visibility, who gets to see the files within here. And then finally selecting the document. Just like I drill down into my computer to grab a file and attach it to an email, that's what I'm doing here. I hit save, it gets uploaded, life's that simple. Here's what I think is the cool part about this. A couple times I've mentioned ClubExpress is delivered with 26 different modules, and they've been engineered in such a way that they think and they act almost identical to each other. If I understand how to use one module, I got a good running start of understanding how to use all the modules. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's going to be the same handful of moves that you do over and over again that'll allow you to do all kinds of different things. So for example, I just showed you how you upload a document. This is how you upload everything into ClubExpress. What this means to you is that your ramp up time to understanding how to use the system is going to be short, simple, and quick. Because if I understand how to use one module, I got a good running start of understanding how to use all the modules. We're going to take this a step further because of the role of a coordinator. I could turn around and say, Samantha, I'm going to volunteer you to be the director of the documents module. And I'm going to coach you and I'm going to teach you how to do everything A to Z to running the documents module, how to do uploads and create folders and put security clearances on them, put tags on the files and do searches. I'm going to coach you up. I'm going to let you loose. Thank you once more for volunteering to take care of the documents module. In the back of my mind, though, I just gave Samantha a running start of understanding how to do everything within ClubExpress because it's that idea. If I understand how to use one module, I got a good running start of understanding how to do everything within ClubExpress. So training somebody to use ClubExpress becomes a non-issue. Finally, it's this concept that I call data fluidity. The modules talk to each other. If I make a change in one, it gets updated everywhere throughout ClubExpress. So consider people changing their email addresses, jumping on and off committees or interest groups. If I update it in one area, it gets updated everywhere. So the email list, for example, that you're maintaining, who belongs to what committee or what interest groups is gone. Because if it's updated and current in one area, it's updated and current everywhere. So the time and effort you put into managing all of that for communication's sake is gone. ClubExpress is doing it for you. I'm going to take here a moment here and pull Sam back into our conversation. I've seen that the chat has been slightly active. Is there anything we need to take a deeper dive on with some of the chatting activity that's been going on, Samantha?
There were just a couple of people who had some questions about something I know you're going to hit later. So if you want to build up some more anticipation, they were wondering about some of the help and training offerings that might be available, perhaps maybe even built into their site. But I'll let you get to that whenever you'd like.
Okay, just wanted to see where we were at because this is usually a good time to pause because I want to recap. We've seen the public area. We've gone through the member profile and we get a better sense of who the coordinators are and the role that they can play. We're going to get into the administrative area now. So when I logged in as Martin, my username and password gave me access to Martin's profile, but it also identified me as an administrator. People who have full access. I've just been peeling away the layers, showing you different perspectives from the member and the coordinator's point of view. Because Martin is an administrator, this link, control panel, appeared. If I was just a regular member, it would not have even appeared. My username and password would have just identified me as a member. So let's take a look at the administrative area. Now, before we start taking a look at the nuts and bolts of what's in here, I want to take a look at these three panels that exist in all the tabs. Admin functions is always going to be towards the top, which are the most common administrative functions, but it's filtered to the tab that you are in. Same thing with website modules, where our modules are linked and best associated to the tab that you're in. Setup is always going to be on the bottom. Now, setup does have admin functions. You touch them when you first start your site and maybe a couple times throughout the rest of the year. But you really don't touch them that often. So to better manage the real estate of the screen, things you don't touch that often, out of the way towards the bottom, things you need to get to quickly and easily towards the top. So I'm in the People tab, Admin Functions, People Manager. This is where I start running queries into the database. This is where I start making manual updates to the system. This is where I could add members, both regular and non-members, which is something that's unique with ClubExpress, just being able to add people to your mailing list, for example. I could start running queries into the system at this point, as I mentioned. I could take a look at, for example, all my prospective members. These are the people that are looking to become members, and they're still going through that ramp-up process of their various vetting processes that you have. I could take a look at all my active members, for example. And say, you know what, let's take this a step further. They need to have this type of membership or this level or this interest group participation, or maybe they're recent additions. And you'll see how this just self-populated with 30, 60, and 90 days old. Take a look at who our recent members are. Or people who owe us money. And we have one person who owes us money. So it's nice that player 2 came to one of our meetings and said, you know what, I owe some money. Could I just drop off a check here for you? Absolutely. And then we would be able to go through the necessary steps of taking that payment. Check number 12345 and notes for notes. And then as soon as I click record check payment, this information is going to roll out through the system. Remember what I just said, data fluidity. These areas talk to each other. It's automatically going to attach itself to this profile, letting them know this payment was just processed, and emails automatically going to be sent to them, letting them know, hey, got your payment, thank you very much. And it's going to attach itself to the money area. So you'll actually see this money that came in during this time. Going to go back into the control panel. We're going to get down here to setup. This is where you have your different membership types and You could have as many as you want with different terms and conditions to go along with them. Renewal expiration settings. One of the biggest pains that organizations go through is membership renewal. Let's see how ClubExpress handles this for you. The first thing we need to determine is what kind of calendar are you running? Is everybody joining at the same time? Or, joining at the same time, or is it on their anniversaries from when they first joined? The second thing we need to determine is how many notifications are going to go up. We support up to 3 notifications. You get to say how they go up. Is it email full-time? Is it regular mail full-time? Or email is a preferred way. If there's no email address on file, it'll default to regular mail. And when do they go up? All right, so what does all this mean? 40 days before membership expires, ClubExpress will start blasting out emails. Steve, thank you very much for being a member of our organization. It's been a blast having you around. In about 40 days, your membership will be expiring. Please click on this link in order to renew. Click on the link, takes me to the the website, and I go through the renewal process. The final step is going to be, how would you like to settle your balance? Do you want to do it online? Do you want to do it with a credit card or PayPal or Stripe? Or do you want to go old school and mail in a check? That's round one. Round two is going to be 12 days before membership expires. ClubExpress, being a smart system, is actually going to look back in time to determine how many people actually renewed their membership. Clean them out so they're not getting duplicate, unnecessary messages. Now I got a clean batch, and they're going to get the email. Final one is going to be -5 days. That means 5 days after their membership expires, that final notification goes out. Just in case I didn't make these points clear enough, you're not locked down to 40, 12, and -5 days. These could be whatever you want them to be. So you could turn around and say, first round, let's make it 35 days. And then second one, we're going to have 10 days. I like -5. We're going to keep it there. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to jump back in there, and you see them updated. That's the rule of thumb with ClubExpress. You make any changes and you save them, consider them live. I set this up once, I walk away, and it goes on autopilot. Whenever you've highlighted that email is the way that the renewals are going to be sent out, for each of these notifications, you get to build out custom language. Getting back into the control panel, website. This is where I control the look and feel of the site. This is where I build out my custom pages, upload photos to create photo albums. This is where I control my menus, what's going to be on the public side, what's going to be on the private side. We could take it a step further, and membership types could have their own unique menus as well. This is where I would be able to control my website options. Do we require a strong password? What does that mean? Let's say yes. It could be minimal. It could be mixed characters as well. What is that length? Do we require people to be able to change it every so often? And you get to determine what it is. Maybe it's two-factor authentication that we're looking at these days. Again, the security that's built into ClubExpress. Some others that we could activate here as well. When you log in, if you have a balance on your account, you could get an instant pop-up letting you know, please settle your balance. When your membership is open for renewal, you'll get a pop-up letting you know, time to renew your membership. Again, a very engaging presence. This is where you would be able to drop in the keywords for any kind of SEO, search engine optimization. And for those who are using Google Analytics, you would be able to drop in those credentials as well. Money. This is pretty simple. What's coming in, what's going out. We have multiple reports to be able to support all of that. Overall, there's over 400 reports that are built into ClubExpress. For those that are running QuickBooks, desktop and online, we integrate with them. And I would very simply come up here, and since I've already preset, connect to QuickBooks Online, and then the batch processing would be done automatically behind the scenes. And what that process is going back in time to the last time you had done this export, grab all the financial transactions, create the report, and upload it into QuickBooks Online. Once up there, it's going to automatically attach itself to the respective member's account. So that way the information doesn't need to be double entered. ClubExpress is taking care of that for you. This is where you'd be able to drop in the various accounts that you can have with ClubExpress. You can have as many different bank accounts as you want assigned to different types of transactions. So from the member experience, they could come in here and, for example, sign up for a couple of events and make a couple of donations. Maybe it was time to renew their membership, and they took care of that as well. So from their side, they just made a single transaction to handle those 4 or 5 different items. From the administrative side, though, well, we have an event. We got dues. We have event money put into this one account. We got dues money put into this other account, and they made a couple of donations. Well, put them into the respective accounts, so the money would automatically be able to flow into the respective account. Association. This is where you can do a data export, take information out of ClubExpress, start doing your own data mining. I've mentioned a couple of times there are some above and beyond items that ClubExpress offers. Ad hoc reporting is one of them. Be able to customize your own reports, be able to run them whenever you like. Who the administrators and coordinators are of your site. So as a reminder, administrators have full access. Assigning an administrator is simple because I just come here, I'm going to cheat and just click on search and turn around and say, Gracie, congratulations, you're now an administrator. And that's it. Just give her full access to everything. Adding a coordinator, though, takes a little bit more effort because I actually need to isolate what I'm giving them permission to be able to do. So it could be just as simple as, and that's it. Or it could be, I'm the webmaster. I'm going to check them all. I'm the treasurer. I'm going to check them all. So I have that type of control to go along with it. So imagine this. Somebody joins the organization, and for their first chapter, they're just a member. So they have access to their own profile, and then they start getting involved with committees and interest groups. Well, now I have access to those specific folders for documents and those secured forums groups as well. And then after a while, I want to start helping out, get an itch to take a little bit of a deeper dive. I want to start managing events as well. Okay, great. I'll be permissioned to be able to do that as well. Then I want to run the whole site. Great. I become an admin at that point. And then my last chapter is going to be, you know what? Time for me to move on, somebody else to pick up the baton. So throughout this whole arc, you could have kept the same username and password. And all that was happening behind the scenes were these check marks going off. Getting back into the control panel, communications, text messaging is built into ClubExpress. There are additional fees for it. You need there'll be $2 a month for the dedicated line to blast out texts. 2 cents a message received. Your members need to opt in order to receive messages. So I could blast out a text to 150 people, but if only 30 of them have opted in, the 30 are going to get it. Everybody else, the 120, is just going to die in the ether, and we're going to bill you off the 30 that received it. I could manage my forms through here. I could custom write my own forms. Surveys can be conducted within ClubExpress. Again, that idea, a single platform to be able to run everything for you. And I don't need to go to so-and-so for my documents, so-and-so for my events, or my emailing, or my surveys. Surveys module has 3 parts to it. There's traditional surveys, there's polls, and we've also geared it up so you can host online elections for it as well. Emailing, no limit to how many emails are sent. They are all archived as well. Adding a new email starts with the basics. What category of an email are we sending out? Obviously, this drop-down list customized to your own group. Email address, phone number. Are we sending it now, or are we saying here's the date and time we want to send it out on? What the subject is, this any kind of extras you want to pull along in there, as well as HTML, so it looks pretty and rich, or is it going to be plain text? Do we want to resend it to those who haven't opened it in 3 days? And that's it. Moving along, edit distribution list. Who's actually going to get this list? So let's say we're creating a list from the first time, and you'll notice once I hit create, this drop-down menu opened up. And this is where I start pulling groups in to customize my list to send an email to. And it's dynamic. And by that, I mean, well, recent membership. Well, you'll notice right away, this other menu just opened up. So I want to turn around and say, yeah, people in the last 60 days. And now I'm going to add another. All active members. And I'm going to add another group. And members from a specific committee, fundraising. And I'm going to add them. All right. Now I'm going to save that list. So now I've built my own list and I've customized it. Now let's go back to what I said earlier. data fluidity. As people are jumping on and off these preset filters, this list is automatically going to get updated. So I'm never managing it. And if I ever need to go back and find it, no problem. I saved it. There it is. Fog 23. There's my list. Once I do that, I'm able to start getting some metrics as to who's going to be getting my email. Finally, all the way down here on the bottom, this is where you build out the email. Now we're going to start off with templates, and anybody who's ever built anything online will realize what these elements are so they can start building their own templates within ClubExpress. But let's jump to the front of the line and say, I already have an inventory of templates. Simply just grab it, drop it over, and start building out my email within here. I could save it and continue. I could close it, build my template, send a test to myself so I know exactly what it looks like. Or I could say, no, you know what, it's ready to go. Go ahead and queue it up. Earlier, I mentioned whenever we're doing the renewal notices, the emails have customized language. This is where you would be able to build it out. It's underneath system emails. What system emails are something happens within ClubExpress and automatically an email is sent out. This is where you're able to customize the language for it. In the world of ClubExpress, pencil means editing. So this is where I would be able to come in here and update the language to whatever I'd like it to be. Finally, at the end here, support, something that I believe was mentioned about earlier. If you've read any reviews of ClubExpress, this is one of the highlights that always keeps appearing, regardless of which source that you are on. Every page that we visited has this question mark on the upper right-hand side. It's also posted here as well. So whenever I click on it, it's going to take me to my online administrator, anchor to the page that I'm on. I can also do keyword searches off of here as well. We've posted manuals as to how to do this and how to do that within ClubExpress. Anyone who's gone to our YouTube channel knows it's constantly getting updated with more and more videos, but you could find them in here as well. Administrator forum, you'll have access to this as well. Actually talking to other administrators of ClubExpress sites. How do you do this and how do you do that within ClubExpress? But here is the game changer, live tech support. Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, you're calling to our Chicago office and you're talking to live engineers. No ticket system, no reservation system. Simply just pick up the phone and give us a call. Here's their email address, and here's the toll-free number. Tech support is provided to those that are running the site, the administrators and coordinators. And that is the, let's say, 30 to 20,000 foot view of ClubExpress. Sam, how are we doing on questions?
We're doing fabulous on questions. One little item, if you could give us a little overview of some of the different reporting options that we have built in and our data exports as well. There were a couple questions about being able to run reports. And then there was an additional question about just what Facebook integration, or I'm sorry, not Facebook, QuickBooks, the other book, what QuickBooks integration might look like. So I'll let you talk about some of that stuff.
So I jumped back in here into the control panel, and in the admin functions area is where reports will be posted. There's over 400 pre-stocked within ClubExpress, filtered to whatever tab you happen to be in. So I'm in the people tab, hit on reports, and here we start. Do we want to talk about contact lists? Do we want to talk about membership information? And then just taking it a step further, always dynamic, always pulling in information from the as of 5 seconds ago. And it's available for you to publish in various formats, including Word, PDF, HTML, CSV, Excel. These are pre-canned reports. Each of the tabs has their own respective reports on here. And then over here with the data export, are we looking to export people reports, money, club, communications? I guess this is still getting built out. We could also narrow it down by date range again. as well. And as I just mentioned, various formats are available for you as well. These are set reports and exports. Ad hoc reporting, though, is where you are able to customize it. So you need to have this exact report. If the data is already in ClubExpress, you're able to pull it into the custom report. This is an above and beyond. I believe there are additional fees for it. There's two versions of it. One where you're just building an inventory of custom reports. The other one where you're building an inventory of reports, but also automating when it's going to be run and who it's going to be delivered to. We mentioned QuickBooks as well. Oh, my mistake, I misclicked. QuickBooks settings. This is where we'll be able to set up all the information regarding your QuickBooks. Like I said earlier, we support online and desktop. Online simple. I believe we're already set up for online, so let's just take a look at that. Simply just come in here, QuickBooks up online, it'll run the process for you. When you have the online version of QuickBooks, the desktop version, must not have had enough coffee today. Sorry about that. And I just changed it over. You're going to notice, well, this may take a moment to refresh here. With the desktop version, it'll actually ask you two items. What date range are we looking for, and what types of financial transactions? It could include, I want all transactions, or it could be, no, I want this type of specific transactions. And then once you put in those parameters for the report to be run, the IIF formatted report will be generated and you'll have access to it. And just like attaching a file to an email, you upload it into QuickBooks. And again, that same process will run, attaching itself to the respective members' information. Thus, no double entering.
Thank you, Steve. And another question that came through that we can Sunny and share, we can tag team this question because I think it touches both of us. So one of the questions was, what's the fastest way to build a website without paying someone? So before talking about some of the package options that we have, I'll talk about some of the training options that we have, and then some of the ways that you can educate yourself if you're interested in at least exploring what it would look like to build out your website. So, of course, you start with your free trial. That honestly is about the amount of time that you would need to, one, explore the site, and two, determine if you can build this out yourself or maybe if you need a little bit of help. So we have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel. They were recently redone tutorials setting up your website and launching your website. So you can take a look at those, and I'll go ahead and drop links to those in our chat so that you have them. You can kind of take a look at what the process might look like as far as building out your site, testing it out, and see if that seems like it's good for you, it's within your realm of skill. And if not, you always have the option to have us help you build your site out. And that, of course, time-wise, that's determined by our team and how many other sites we're currently working on. But building your website yourself isn't something that would be excruciatingly time consuming, and it isn't something that's incredibly difficult. Like I said, we have lots of tutorials and webinars that go through all of the things that you would need to do on your site step by step. So if you're a visual learner, throw video up on one monitor or throw it up on your phone or your iPad while you're actually performing those actions on your site. And as Steve mentioned, when you're working through your site as an admin, even through that trial process, you still have the ability to email our team and say, listen, I watched this video, I read through the help, and I'm still having a little bit of trouble. Can you point me in the right direction? So we don't leave you to your own devices. But like I said, if you don't think that this is in the realm of possibility for you, whether it's a skill issue or a timing issue, Steve has some options for us as far as pricing and packaging.
So I'm going to play Sunny to your share right now. Whenever I'm asked, wait, I want to build out the site. Can I do it? And my quick answer to that is, I don't know. Have you ever built out a site before? There is going to be a learning process to this. ClubExpress has its own unique editor built into it. But as Sam said, we offer a 60-day free trial. Okay, so what does a 60-day free trial mean? Well, first of all, literally free. There are some items to go along with it, though. Okay, you're going to have your own fully functioning, all bells and whistles included, canvas to build out. You're building out the look and feel of the site. You're building out the public area. You're building out the membership side. You're building out the administrative side as well. A couple of items to keep in mind. No financial transactions can take place, as well as we're giving you permission to have 8 people in the database during this time. My advice to you, make one of them John Smith and make them generic, and that way you can share John Smith's login credentials with 30 of your best friends. What this free trial is for is to give you the best real world experience as to what it's like to build and maintain a site. My advice to you, give yourself 30 days. See how much time and effort you've put into it and what's come out. If you're happy with the results, keep marching. You're going to do good. If you're saying, you know what, time's getting away from us, didn't realize we needed the volunteers and the resources to do this, maybe we need to shift gears in order to have ClubExpress build out our site. What you want to do, and we'll have more detailed conversations regarding this, but go to the pricing area. You're going to scroll down a little and you're going to go to one-time setup fee. And these are all the packages that we provide for the site to get developed. Now, we just talked about the basic setup. This is when you do all the heavy lifting. At the end of your 60-day free trial, make a choice. Are we going to move forward with ClubExpress or not? And if you do, we link up our bank accounts. That's when the $150 will get charged. All the other packs are for when you say ClubExpress, this is your baby. You know it better than we do. And we want you to build out our site. And I'll turn around and say, thank you very much. Let's dive into the weeds and find out a little bit more about which package would best serve you. And we only need to talk about 3 or 4 items in order to qualify which one of these packs is the best value for you. And they include how much of a wow factor do you want to the look and feel of the site, the volume or the number of custom content pages you want, if you want training up front. Those are the 3 items that basically will say, this is the package that would best serve us. You'll notice that some of these have got plus attached to it. These are packs that have more custom content pages built into it, as well as pre-purchasing training. The look and feel are going to be the same within the family, and by that I mean starter packs are going to have their own look and feel. Builder packs with a little bit more wow factor because more resources put into it, we're going to have their own unique look and feel. They're all going to be template driven. It's just going to be a little bit more of a wow factor with the builder pack. Sam, back to you.
Yeah, it looks like questions have died down. I did drop those couple of links to some setup and launch videos in the chat. So if you want to kind of, again, explore, like Steve said, give yourself a time to explore it and see if it's something that you can implement on your own. Oh, there's one question that came in. What are static web pages? Great question. So there are essentially two types of pages that you might see on your ClubExpress website. There are module pages, which are static web pages, and then there are custom web pages. So a module page is, let's say, your event calendar page, your donations page. Those are pages that are built by us that include, there's a surveys page, that's another modules page. Those are pages that can't be customized. Those are displaying module information to your users. Now, on the other side of that coin, you have your custom pages. Those would be things like your About Us page or history. Steve showed a couple of these pages at the start where there's another example of custom page where you have all of those benefits of membership. You might have a page for sponsors. You might have pages that talk about some of the fun things you've done at past events with some photos and links and videos. So those are your custom pages. So depending on how much of that custom content, that content outside what the modules that we have offer, those are going to be your custom web pages. And there's another question, monthly charges. What are the monthly charges? Great one, Steve.
Great. Thank you for bringing that up. So ClubExpress is unique. We only take a look at how many people are permissioned to log in, not the number of contacts you have in your database. So that's what drives our monthly hosting fee. We don't have a contract. We don't want you to be stuck somewhere you don't want to be. And what we have is very simply a service agreement. We go on a month-to-month basis, and you can move off of it whenever you want. Let me blow this up a little bit more, make it a little bit easier to read. If you come to the pricing area, go to monthly hosting fee, and here's our calculator, but I'm picking on the question mark here, and that's what our rec rates are. So we need to understand how many members you have, how many people are permissioned to log in, and that'll give you the monthly hosting fee. ClubExpress is also a little bit different as well. We support family memberships, or if you belong to a professional organization, we support memberships where you can link multiple people together. So if you are a personal club, let's say a running club or a ski club, and we support family memberships. Great. I got mom, dad, and a couple of kids that I'm signing up for the ski club. We only take a look at the main contact, even though I've got 4 people that are going to be linked together. So we're charging you for one person, even though there's 4 people in the database. Perhaps though you're a professional trade group or a bar association, for example, and my firm is going to be member of the Cook County Bar Association. Now I'm able to have multiple people together linked in. Well, I need to have the main contact. That's who the primary member is, and everybody else is going to be half that rate at the secondary members. This is calculated on a monthly basis. So on the last business day of the month, our system will take a look at your database, do this calculation, and then from our linked bank accounts, pull the hosting fee for the next month. So in August, you're paying for September, you're paying for October, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, with this, the hosting fee, you get a handful of unlimiteds. I've mentioned some of them along the way, but I want to make sure we have the full list here. The handful of unlimiteds you receive include unlimited website space, unlimited file storage, unlimited emails, no limit to how many administrators and coordinators you have. Again, we're indifferent as to what role they have once they log in. Because if you could have 10 administrators this month and 15 next month, price change, there is no price change. But the other thing that you get within the handful of unlimiteds is for the administrators and coordinators, unlimited tech support with live engineers out of our Chicago office. I see the ticker going up on chat, and I'm wondering if there's any questions.
There was another question about someone who'd signed up for a free trial, but never quite did anything with it, and was wondering if they would be able to I know that occasionally we will extend a trial by a few days, maybe a week, if you're still sort of ironing out details.
Right.
I think that it would probably be okay to sign up for another trial, but
ideally we would reactivate the one that had that was used beforehand. Get in touch with the person that you hopefully had spoken to. If you don't know who they are, take down my email address, steve@clubexpress.com. Just fire over to me the name of your organization, and I'll get in front of the right person. They'll get in touch with you.
So there was one more question. Are we going to chat about other costs? And I don't know that there are other costs to talk about, but we'll just sort of review just so people can kind of get a sense of what would be involved. So you'd be paying your one-time setup fee. Steve went through those. It's either going to be your basic setup fee if you choose to build your website out yourself, or if you find that you want to kind of talk about a package a little bit, you might have a package that you would purchase. You might have an SSL certificate that you would purchase if you want to use your own domain name. Your SSL certificate's a relatively inexpensive item, and it just ensures that your site is secure. Now, we talked about if you want to use your own domain name. So for anyone who doesn't quite know what that means, if your website is myspecialclub.com and you want to keep that URL, that's when you would need your own SSL certificate. If you're okay with myspecialclub.clubexpress.com, which means that you would be under our domain and you wouldn't need an SSL certificate, You don't need to purchase that. Now, we've talked about some extra cost features. QuickBooks is an extra cost feature. We talked about ad hoc reporting being an extra cost feature, but don't get scared when we drop those terms because there are 20 plus built-in modules on every website. You don't have to pay extra for those features. And 90% of what you're likely going to want to do as an organization is included in those features. That's your event calendar with built-in payment processing. That's your donation module. That's your volunteering module. That's your blast emailing feature. So all of that is included in your site. Now, those are your options to start. Our extra cost features are a monthly cost. So any of the extra cost features that you purchase, you can see right away what that monthly cost is going to be to you. Now, on top of the monthly cost that you might have for an extra cost feature, you will always have your monthly hosting fee. And that's it. Now, there aren't any other fees or hidden costs. Everything that you would be charged for is something that you would ask to be charged for. So, hey, I want help with my design. Hey, I'd like to add this extra module. I'd like to implement text messaging on my site. I'd like to have the mobile app. Those are all things that you'd know if you're being charged for them. Again, we don't have hidden fees, and all of the fees in our pricing is in black and white on our site. There isn't anything that you might see, call us for pricing or call us about this. All of our pricing is listed on our site.
Yeah, that's something that we kind of sort of brag about, and we're very transparent about. Well, what's it going to cost to run in Club Express? All the
Mm-hmm.
information's available. But to give you that list, you're going to have a setup fee. You're going to have a monthly hosting fee. Sam, I think we need to do some homework on the SSL. I thought you always need to have the SSL certificate. And then anything extra, as Sam said. So the three things that are locked in: development fee, monthly hosting fee, SSL. And then the above and beyond that we spoke about, such as QuickBooks or ad hoc reporting. Now, no surprises there because those are things that you've said we need to have.
Right.
I see the
And
number on the chat going up. Anything else there?
I do not see any. Let me close my window out and open it up again. I don't see any new questions. Well, we'll give it a minute. And in the meantime, don't forget that everyone will have a copy of this particular session ready to go if you'd like to review it again, or if you'd like to send it to other board members or team members for review. And Steve, would you like to wrap it up for us?
I would. My email address is steve@clubexpress.com. If there's anything you want to chat about, any other items that we didn't get a chance to discuss, please just email me. If I don't get to you, I'll make sure that the appropriate person who is running your account will be in touch with you. Thank you once more for joining us this morning, taking a look at Club Express. Samantha, beautiful job as always. And thank you once more. Have a great day, everyone.